Hi everyone, Green Panda here and welcome back to another video. You know the drill, a speed paint is happening and I'm just gonna be yapping on in the background. So I watched Kpop Demon Hunters and I decided to draw some fan art, and so while I'm talking in the background I'm gonna be talking about the movie itself and all the things I liked, didn't like, and pretty much talking about the characters. Spoilers ahead, but yeah, that's pretty much to be a given. So to start off, Genu was not redeemed. Yeah, right off the bat, I'm just gonna get right into it. Basically, Genu is a tool, like that's what he's supposed to represent, and he was like an instrument to be used. He was an instrument to the king. He was like literally a walking like musician. Like if the king wanted him to jump, he had to ask how high. And yeah, he's an instrument to Guima. He's an instrument of destruction against the hunters. So yeah, basically he has no autonomy whatsoever. Rumi kind of looked at him as a whole and kind of asked the question here, if he wasn't being blackmailed by Guima and had no control whatsoever, would he have portrayed her the way he did? And the answer is no. And the thing is, if he was redeemed, he would be alive and well, like having a spa deal with the girls. But if he wasn't redeemed, then he would have been the antagonist that kind of died like true Disney fashion and fell off a cliff or something. The deal he made with Rumi was very one-sided. Like she was asking him to stick his neck out, and the thing is he would have lost more and he would have been trapped in hell with Guima if everything went, you know, to plan. The thing is, Rumi couldn't guarantee that he would be alright with it, and he did generally try to fight against Guima, and when he was like dragged back by Guima and everything, it kind of just proved that he literally could not do anything, and Guima kind of like, you know, snuffed out that hope. Genu and Rumi basically have something in common by having two managers, like overbearing, but the thing is she has a little bit more freedom. That Celine has no clue what is happening with Rumi, and she has freedom to, like, you know, do her own thing and she'll be fine. But Genu doesn't. He basically has this guy in his head. He has no freedom at all, and so the things that he did was really fucked up. Not defending it, it was very unfair for Rumi to ask that of him when she had no guarantee of his safety in return if he did this thing for her. Genu sucks. Like, again, not defend, because I love Rumi and I love all these characters because they have so many like nuance. The problem is trying to talk about these characters and trying to be fair, like put them on scales and basically say, right, he left his family, but again, it didn't show him leaving through the night, like with his peeper and shutting the door behind them and just leaving them. He actually took them by the hand to the palace before the guards told them, nah, that's not happening. So there is a difference. Like, yeah, he left. Like, the story itself viewed him actually attempting to bring his family to the palace, but he couldn't because like they're commoners and they're not actually adding anything of value. So that's why only he was accepted, because he was the talent. And I think that's the issue where a lot of people like use that as an excuse to say, oh, he left his family, but it's like that's not good enough as a reason for him to suffer 400 years of damnation with demons and Guima. Like, that sucks. And so at this point in time, it's like he was punished way too harshly, because again, people back then sold out their own families. It could have been worse, right? Or like he could have basically just ran away from home and tried to start anew and left them behind, but he did not leave them in the way that you're expected. It's like, yeah, he left them, but it's not as bad as it could have been. The only thing is, when he betrayed Rumi, that was generally despicable of something that he definitely did, and that's the reason why he's not officially redeemed yet. The thing is, it's up to Rumi to forgive him because that's on her. And she kind of realized that it's very unfair to judge Genu when he's generally doing things because he literally has no control or autonomy whatsoever. So she's like, right, if he didn't have Guima and if he were like, and if he had freedom of like, you know, choice, would he have done what he did? And she's like, no, he wouldn't have. And so that's why she wanted to set him free. It's like, she's not, you know, forget him yet. It's not even a conversation, but they kind of have that conversation until like the dust is settled. But then when he sacrificed himself for Rumi, it did not put everything under the blanket. It didn't really like wash away all the guilt. It didn't really fix anything. It basically was an attempt to be better. And the thing is, when he turned into a sword, it kind of like reaffirms my opinion that he's like a tool. He's an instrument, and now he's just going to be used to make up for what he did, because like, yeah, people on the train, they died because of Genu. People disappeared, his fans, like their now souls being taken by Guima, like that is now on his shoulders. Like, that's a burden he has to bear. But the thing is, Rumi, she has that burden too, because like she also blames herself. It's not her fault, but she takes the responsibility as a hunter that all those lives lost in the train, that is on her. So the thing is, I think both Rumi and Genu could work together in the sequel, and if Genu's a sword, that's amazing. And I think that's like a better way to try to fix it, because the thing is, when things go wrong, it's not a simple apology, it's not, being good actions, mean good deeds, and being nice, like, is better. It's like, it's the attempt itself to improve. Because the thing is, the movie is actually really good, like, as it takes to, like, talk about self-forgiveness and a different way, and redeeming isn't basically just like ignoring things done. It's basically taking that and making the decision to say, like, is that a valid reason to not give anyone a second chance, to hate someone, to think that these people are like irredeemable pieces of scum. So the fandom itself has these opinions with Jinu, and I don't criticize those opinions at all, because the thing is, if people hate Jinu, then that's fine. I don't. But if people really do think, no, Jinu's like, I kind of stand him, I think he's a bad person, I don't like the film and what they did with him, and saying like, oh yeah, he sacrificed himself, but that's not good enough, that's actually okay. Like, people can, like, I can see where people's coming from, and that's actually a very valid reason to not like Jinu, and that's alright. Like, if you hate the characters, that's fine, but if you start coming after the people who like the characters, it makes statements like, oh, if you happen to like Jinu, you're probably a misogynist, or like, it's a general attack, or like, oh, I don't understand how people like Jinu, and there's a lot of statements out there that generally sound like a question, and then people answer it, and then people like explode, and it gets to the point where it's no longer about the characters. Now you're using the characters as a weapon or an excuse just to lash out, and at this point in time you're kind of thinking, are we even talking about K-pop anymore? We're talking about like the need for this person who really needs a therapist. Like, it's generally becoming like very exhausting, because like people say, oh, we want nuanced, complex, morally grey media and things that challenges people, and then when you get it, it's like, never mind, we need like spoon-fed dribble shit because people can't handle that, and it's like, oh god. And then there's like media literacy, then there's people who's like, hey, have we watched the same movie, because some people saying this and that, blah blah blah, and it gets to the point where it's like generally making it very exhausting to like things, especially something like K-pop, where it's like basically positive fandoms, toxic fandoms, like, that's dead. It doesn't matter, it's just fandom, and people sometimes either you can enjoy something and no drama or negative things happens, or if it does happen, then it happens. At this point in time, it's like a wave, you just have to ride it out and just hope that it just disappears and goes down. All you have to do is just create and just ignore it. Anyway, unlike Celine, just throwing that out there, I generally really like Celine. Right, okay, this is just my like headcanon and opinion. This is how I interpret Celine. You guys don't have to see it like the way I do. Like, if you're like, what? I'm like, I don't care. This is how I see it. Celine to me is like someone whose child comes out as LGBT and has no idea how to handle it, because during those times they didn't have the internet or any guidance or manual to like, you know, or tips to like know how to figure this out. She genuinely loves Rumi, but the problem is that she hates demons, and that kind of gets in the way. She's kind of like Pearl from Steven Universe, like the way she treats Steven, and you can see that Celine generally wants like the best for Rumi, not realizing that her whole don't tell anyone, don't do anything is actually set Rumi up to being taken advantage of, and I don't think that's what Celine meant. I think she was like, oh, keep everything hidden, but the thing is, Rumi should have had the freedom to tell Celine and her friends like that she was half demon, that she was going through all this stuff. But Rumi kind of expresses the type of people who has like a very strict parent who's very controlling of everything that they do and exposed to. And the thing is, when it comes to like general issues, Rumi couldn't go to Celine. She couldn't ask for advice, because like when she mentions demons, what does Celine do? She tells her to cover up. So it made it really hard for Rumi to ask about the stuff, and it gets to the point where that feeling of being trapped, of not getting help, of not getting advice, of like basically being like alone, even with like surrounded by people, is probably the reason why her scars, like, you know, patterns, the reason why her patterns like spread. So I think Celine generally thinks she was doing right, and she was proven correct by Jinu, because like by telling Jinu everything and, you know, admitting all of her flaws, all of her insecurities and everything, ended up being used against her, proving Celine right. And that's kind of what's very interesting about the story itself, going how everyone's not wrong. It's just the fact that the things that they're trying to tackle has never been spoken about or researched or looked into before, and everyone is just guessing. And that's the problem, is the fact that it's so easy to make mistakes, but if they don't try, how are they going to fix any of it? The thing is, Celine thought being quiet and not saying a thing is what will protect the Moon, but that was not the case. And then you had Jinu, who's just like passive, who's like, oh, just let things happen, it'll work itself out, because like, you know, I'm self-preservation. Rumi generally is the only one who had to step up and to fix everything. And it was just pretty much luck that her coming back with like to her friends and forgiving them for everything, how fighting like with all of her like friends and everything like ended up working out in the end. And it gets to the point where even that wasn't good enough, because if it wasn't for Jinu's sacrifice, Rumi would have been gone and Guima would have won. So it gets to the point where it's like the movie generally was just like going by the skin of its teeth, and it was just luck and experimental. And the thing is, it still didn't resolve anything. Guima's still there, still got demons, still eating souls. And the thing is, the demons themselves, they don't eat the souls for themselves, they eat it for Guima. So at that point, if Guima's gone, what will the demons do? Like, are they like Jinu? Are they just gonna like, I don't know. I love the movie. There is a few plot holes, but that's because the movie was shrunk into 3 hours, like 30 minutes, and it shrunk further to like 2, and no one believed in it. So at that point, everything was like probably rushed. They were like, oh, just, it's whatever, who cares? It, like, as long as it's out, as long as it's done, as long as it's like watchable. And now I bet that guy at Sony is kicking themselves thinking, I can't believe I just did that. I bet they were fired. They're just waking up at night, like eyes shut open, staring at the ceiling thinking, I completely fucked up that I thought this movie was going to feel, and Sony just lost lots of money. But then again, maybe the movie did better on streaming, because like going on streaming then going to the theater was actually the best option for K-pop Demon Hunters, because like people already watched it, they already knew the words, and so when they watched it they were just experiencing it. And it feels like that actually did better for the views than if it came out in the movies first. And if people missed it, then they missed it. It gets to the point where having the hype and having it more accessible on Netflix was actually a pretty much better option for them. Hope in the sequel we'll have Zoe and Baby doing a rap battle. I want to see that. And someone had a theory that Baby was actually from the future, and I was like, oh, imagine, that would be so funny. But nah. I mean, they did take inspiration from Sailor Moon, so technically if that was like a hint that Baby was actually like Zoe's son, that would be really funny. But no, I think Mystery's dead, so it doesn't matter. And again, respawning. I am very confused with this. Do the demons die? Are they dead? Or do they respawn? Because like a lot of people's like, oh, Abby's dead. But then a lot of people's like, oh, when you kill them, they get sent back to Guima. And I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, so they're dead. Like, once the hunters kill them, they're dead. That's why Guima needs souls to like make up the numbers. That makes sense. But then I'm rewatching the movie, so I'm like, I do not understand. I generally do not get if the demons are dead, or if they actually like come back and everything and come back to the demon realm, blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I think they die, because like in the beginning with the airplane scene, it shows on purpose that only one of them comes back, meanwhile the rest of them are like gone. So I'm assuming they're dead and demons don't get respawned. Either way, I hope they answer that in the sequels, and I'm very excited for the movies. But then again, I'm kind of looking at K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm thinking, oh sweet Christ, I hope it's not like Spider-Verse, where I'm so excited, I'm like, oh my god, and then suddenly we're waiting like 10 years and we still haven't seen it. We're gonna make memes. Everyone's gonna be like, we have a GTA game before we got K-pop Demon Hunters 2, and I'm like, no, don't let that be a thing. Anyway, I hope you like the Speedpaint and my yapping in the background, because I really like this movie. And yeah, I basically made a TikTok. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I need a I have a TikTok, everybody, if you want to follow me on that. So it's right there at the top. I now have a TikTok, and I'm actually posting videos on there. I don't have many views, and I don't mind. Generally, I'm not being that person who's like, oh my god, I'm not upset that I have no followers. Like, not like, generally, I think it's better, because at least that way, if I fuck up and some videos don't post right, I can basically put them back down and fix it without being embarrassed to death and be like, oh my god, that was so mortifying. So yeah, in case you guys want to watch me mess around. But again, you don't have to have a TikTok, because I'm posting those same videos on YouTube, so at least that way you guys aren't missing out. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me what your favorite part in K-pop Demon Hunters was, and we can gush together, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye!